One chat. All right. So Kamui, the three tails makes no sense. So we have an update to this. We talked about this a while ago, and people hated it. Well, I'm not even gonna say hated it, but there was a lot of comments on it. So I'll admit, I forgot something. And to be fair, this is more niche than the freaking Himawari pancake scene from the anime. Okay, this is just like the most forgettable thing of all time. I will say this sort of puts a damper in the Isobu is dumb argument, but we do have a Three Tails update. So I just want to clarify some information so that we're
Okay.
not spreading misinformation out there, or even misspreading information if you want to look at it that way. So Kamui, did you remember? Isobu isn't missing an eye. He just closed one because his eyes are his weak point. It only part of his body, not protect by his shell armor.
I feel like I do remember that being in the Three Tails arc somewhere, but why doesn't Isobu just close his eyes when he needs to instead of permanently closing at all times and in flashbacks in the past before that arc?
So that's
That was filler.
one. Uh, I don't know if I'm gonna call it debunk contradiction weird thing with this, but it's one. There's like eight, so that's what. So another thing. Why just one? Because both of his eyes are his weak spot, right? Like it's not like
Well, so
swapping
at least he
between the
can
two.
see out of one.
Yeah,
That's
but
what I was
that's
gonna
the
say.
thing though, Kamui. So he can see out of so he can't see out of one is the problem. So he's making a separate weak point. His blind spot.
Yeah,
Like Kamui, think about
true.
it this
And
way.
he also could just close the one eye whenever it's relevant.
Exactly. So think about it this way. The human eye is the weak spot on a human. And again, I don't want to use personal arguments. I'm not going around closing my eyes because they're weak spots. Just permanently.
Yeah, just keeping one. Hey, wait, actually, is that why Obito chose a one eye hold mask when he had a second Sharingan? Because it was the weak spot.
Like, hypothetically. So, okay, first of all, this assumes that Isobu's eyelid is armored. Otherwise, it wouldn't matter in the first place. Which, to be fair, I think Isobu's eyelid is armored. But that also goes against Kakuzu, who is stated to be unable to move when he hardens his full body. So how is the eyelid moving if it is armored? Which tells me it probably shouldn't be, even if it is. But do you know if it is or not?
Well, I well, in Kakuzu's case, so that'd be if he did his whole body, so he can move what isn't hardened.
His
I
joints,
guess
yeah.
the but the eyelids aren't the muscles. So if the muscles that move the eyelids are the blinking muscles aren't hardened, then I think he could probably move the
That's
eyelids.
ridiculous, but sure. Okay. That'd be very uncomfortable though.
I won't say it's not ridiculous, but
So another
it's
thing
definitely
that's ridiculous with
something.
this. So the other nine-tailed beasts, are their eyes just invulnerable then? They just all have rock solid eyes. They just don't. This just isn't a weakness to the other tailed beasts. Only Isobu. And I get the point is that Isobu has armor around his entire body except for his eyes. That shouldn't really matter in this case. Like, am I wrong?
Honestly, the thing I was gonna say is, so what if it's the weak spot? If he gets stabbed in the eye, what happens? He can't see out of that eye. But whoop de doo, he can't see if he closes it too. Like it's not like
Exactly.
he opens it some of the time, he only closes it. So at that point, you might as well get stabbed in the eye.
And really, only closing one eye would matter if both eyes were being targeted at the exact same time. Which, how often is that going to happen? So then, another factor about this worst scenario. instead of targeting both eyes, they're just going to target one eye, which leads that eye even more so open as a weak point. If that eye goes down, he's back in the same scenario to where he's still fighting with only one eye. He's still at
Yeah,
just
and
as
he
much of a
can't close
disadvantage.
it, or else he can't see.
Like, if he loses one eye, he only has one eye to see, which is what he was using to see in the first place. So it's not a good thing.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. It's like if because it's not like he opens it periodically, so like he might as well just get stabbed in the eye. Does he ever open his eye in the filler arc?
I imagine there's scenes of him with both eyes open, but I don't know. It's filler anyway.
Yeah, but in the manga, bro just doesn't have the other eye, as far as we're aware.
So I'm pretty sure I also clarified in some other stream that wasn't this clipped video that I disagree with Kamui, that I do think the Warring States era people could take out the Biju, or at least take their freaking eye. I don't think taking an eye would be that
I mean, I
much of
will
a
say,
stretch.
as much as Kotetsu's sword looks like Isobu's eye, it does look slightly different, so I'm not sure if it is his eye or if it just looks like it. But I prefer that it is his eye.
Sure. But I mean, there's people like Hashirama, Madara going around in the Warring States era. Even if you want to say it wasn't one of them, you could say it's one of the thousands of people that use the 8 gates. Even if you don't want
I
to say it's one of them,
prefer Tobirama
that works
because
too.
Tobirama's like the pioneer of all the jutsu, so if he made a sword from the tail bee's eye.
Sure. But the point is, regardless of what you want to say about the Shinobi at the time, what about the Biju at that time? I would say the Biju at that time were weaker than they are in the current era, thousands of years later.
Well, I agree, but proportionately, they're probably still way stronger than that. If anything, I think the gap closed over time, not the other way around. I think at
Okay.
first the Pikachu were probably stronger than the ninja, but over time they started to equal out.
I would also say that,
So even if the Pikachu were getting stronger, it just means the ninja got stronger at a faster rate.
sure. I would also say that the Three Tails is not one of those stronger level Biju. And so usually we see Kurama as like a baseline, even half a Kurama, which is infinitely stronger than Isobu. So it's kind of unfair
Which
to
is so
just
stupid.
scale up Isobu to some higher end tier
Why
tailed
did
beasts or
like
anything.
I think it's kind of absurd that like Kishimoto actually just made, or Hakuromo you can say, but Kishimoto actually just made Kurama that much stronger so that half of Kurama was already way stronger, and then we find out there's another half, and it's like, wait,
Exactly.
why did Hakurama make Kurama that much stronger?
So another thing, you look at like cavemen versus woolly mammoths. The woolly mammoths are way stronger than the cavemen. Cavemen are still able to kill it. In this case, they're not even killing Isobu. Like, they're taking 1/1000th of his body mass away from. They're taking an eye. Like, I feel like you put 1,000 humans against anything stronger than it. Freaking doesn't matter how much stronger the thing is. If it's even reasonable, I think they could at least take an eye. Like, they're not
I
killing
mean,
them.
sure, I agree,
Yeah.
but like, did they have 1,000 ninja going up against Isobu? I don't know. Not like it's ever explained.
Even then, you catch Isobu off guard. You catch him from. I mean, he's got one eye closed anyways. It's pretty easy to sneak up on him. So, like, it's pretty easy to take his
Well,
eye. Like, again, you don't have to win the fight.
but hold on, hold on. Did his eye get taken or not then? Because the theory is that he closes his eye instead of the eye being taken, not that it's how he got his eye taken.
Listen. Either way, it doesn't matter. The point being, I think it could happen either way.
Dude, that's
Because
even worse. That's actually hilarious that I like that canon. Isubu closed his eye to protect his eye, but in the process, the other eye got taken because his blind spot from the eye being closed.
okay, I was gonna say the closing the eye thing was like debunking the dumbness thing. What if it's like enhancing the dumbness thing? That's why he's the only tail beast that doesn't. Now I'm putting the pieces together.
Because it was just the dumbest tail beast.
Okay, so back to Isobu though. So I definitely think Isobu can even win the fight versus 1,000 shinobi. Like, the 1,000 shinobi don't have to win. They can all die in a freaking genocide massacre against Isobu. The point isn't their defense. The point is their offense. And Isobu's defense at any time can be fluctuating. So again, as long as humans have a spear, they can charge in freaking naked for all I care. They just gotta take the eye.
I mean, it really depends on how many ninja and what the ninja world was like at that time. Because I refuse to believe that, freaking the Sand Village's fire arrows that used on Datara is beating Isobu.
But
So
again,
they
they
got to
don't have
bring
to
something
beat
better to the
Isobu.
table.
One fire arrow to the eye is all it takes. It just takes good aim.
Even that, bro, even that, man, like they got to bring more to the table than that nonsense.
Why? Freaking the fire. Okay, regardless of the fire, the arrows are fast.
They were not fast, bro.
They're
That shit was
arrows
ass.
shot out of a trebuchet. They're not fast because Datara is freaking like lightning speed.
Okay, the Bijou should be fast too.
I don't think Isobu is that fast, especially if he's on land. It's where he could have got caught.
I mean, Javi, some turtles are fast, man.
Kamui. Wait, I'm just gonna move past that oxymoronic statement, okay? Good.
What? You don't think some turtles are fast?
I think there was one turtle who was fast in one instance, aside from that one.
Bro, I saw a turtle cruising across the road like a couple weeks ago. Like he was just in the middle. I was slowing down. Bro booked it like Usain Bolt, and I was like, damn, that turtle's fast.
Crazy.